Hello y'all on YouTube, this is Rob with Rob's Nerdy Knives. You've reached the 2025 Knife Awards. Yeah, I'm gonna go through a bunch of knives, a bunch of awards, and these are things that I picked. So let's get into this and let's welcome the 2025 Knife Awards. Yes, I did do a little kazoo salute in honor of the awards. Why not? All right, today we're beginning with the Knife Awards. Remember, life without a knife is dull and pointless, so get yourself a knife. And also, these awards are going to be the Rob's Nerdy Knives Uber Nerd Awards. So this is a way for me to recognize the super uber nerdiness of knives, what we enjoy and what we love, at least what I enjoy and what I love. So I'm going to get into it. I will mark all of the different videos with a timestamp so you can like jump to it if you didn't want to see some of these. Like if you're not into fixed blades, you can skip it. If you're not into budget knives, you can skip it. If you're not into certain knives, you can skip it, or you can go to somewhere if you want to look at it. So I'll try to have that in there once the video publishes at that point. So, you know, that'll help you out. And remember, buy what you like and like what you buy. I also say buy what you love and love what you buy. It's your money, your collection, your knives. You do what you want to do. All right, the first award that we're going to start off with is the Best Budget Knife. Now I have two knives that I'm going to pick for this one. Not everyone's going to have a bunch of knives in them. Sometimes there's going to be one, sometimes there'll be more. But these are ones that I feel like I can talk about. First of all, the best budget for me this year, number 2, is going to be the Civivi Gordo. And you'll see it right there. That's a Peter Carey design, super amazingly smooth knife, probably the smoothest Civivi knife I have ever handled. It is done by Civivi. Fantastic knife. I have an unboxing review for it, got it at Blade Show, and loved this knife. Felt it was just amazing. Now, the problem is I don't have a lot of these budget knives in hand because I give them away on my live streams. So that is just a thing I do. I tend to give away knives, and I don't apologize for that. And I don't apologize for giving away knives that I think I love and I would probably have in my collection were I not a channel. But the Civivi Gordo is number 2. Number 1 is going to be the QSP Penguin Glide Lock. Now, a lot of people said, Penguin, that's old. No. This is the Glide Lock. And it is revolutionary, in my opinion. It has a whole new crossbar lock implementation. I don't know what they did, but it is the smoothest, most amazing crossbar lock that I have ever handled. Again, I'll have a picture here for it. Now, I will tell you, Tradition Pocket Knives just recently released a premium version with the most beautiful crystallized titanium scales on there. It is 154 cm blade steel. The one that you see here is absolutely a budget knife. It is way less and very affordable and a great, fantastic first knife if you ever go get one. But that is my number 1 pick for best budget knife. The second category I have is the best super budget knife. And that is, I have one. And you're going to probably maybe hate me or disagree with me or want to throw stuff at me or tomatoes, whatever. But I will tell you, I handled all of the ones that came out. The best super budget knife that I felt was for 2025 was the Olatan, and it is the Olatan Lemon Shark, which I actually have right here. This is the Olatan Lemon Shark. For the price of what you pay for this thing, it is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. The execution on this knife is phenomenal. Solid knife. Absolutely executedly perfectly, beautiful touches, details everywhere. I love the clip. I love the reversibleness. I love the micarta. Feels really good. The liner lock is absolutely fantastic. This particular knife here is in 10CR 15 MOV. So that's not a bad steal for what you're paying for this. I think, if I remember correctly, it probably have the price here. If not, there'll be a link for it. But it was in the 30s. It was ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous for what you got for this knife. Olatan, brand new company coming out, but man, did they come out running and gunning and just doing really well. So this is a fantastic knife. That was my best super budget knife. Now, I have one more category, the best insane super budget knife. It's going to be the best budget value that you can get out there for the least amount of money that you could spend. And trust me, I know there are hundreds, if not thousands, of competitors out there, but these are knives that got released this year, and I did get a chance to handle these. Matter of fact, they reached out to me and asked if I would like to look at them. So I was given 3 knives, and you'll see the picture here. There'll be 3 knives here. It'll be the one on the far right picture. It is the Ozark Trails Elevation. Now, that particular one is the button lock version. I think their execution of the button lock, which was $24.95, is absolutely insane for the price. For 25 bucks, I cannot think of a better deal of how excellently that was executed. The steel that you're getting for what you get, the solid lockup, the absolute perfect execution of that button lock for that price category is ridiculous. So it's hands down. Now, yes, the other two knives are not bad. The $10 one, the 1997 one in the middle, those are all fantastic. But I think the elevation, the button lock is, G10 scales button lock, and you do have, if I can remember correctly, what was the steel? 10 CRMO. I don't know. It'll be right up here if I can remember, but just fantastic blade steel for what you get for $25, $24.97 to be exact. I mean, if you got 20, that's all you got. It's 25 bucks, and you want to get the best knife that doesn't need to be, a bushwhacker, chop logs, but you want just an EDC knife that you can use all day long and easy to carry, actuate, open and close. That's my pick. All right, now we're going to move into the most innovative design, and this knife, hands down, was my pick for 2025. It came in. I was amazed when I saw it. It is the Numb Knife Works Cornerstone N1. So Numb Knife Works, Nick is the designer of this particular knife. It has the innovative pinch lock, which is phenomenal. This pinch lock is just really phenomenal. Now, this is the first one he just dropped. I did get a chance to check out the prototype, the N7, which is amazing. We'll be checking out many of the other prototypes. This is an S90V blade steel. The action on this thing, it does have almost like two frame locks, liner locks that engage the back of the blade. And so you have almost two detents. Well, you don't almost, you do. This is just going to be a revolutionary knife for, I think, 2026 and going forward. I really, really like this. Matter of fact, this just got some DLC hardware upgrade that I just put on this thing to make it look distinct, as you can see. But this is a phenomenal, phenomenal knife. This is my most innovative design of the year. Numb Knife Works, the Cornerstone N1. Definitely want to go check this out. All right, the next knife is going to be the best utility knife of the year. Now, there's two in this particular category. First one is going to be right here, is the Reverie Manufacturing Zero. I had a chance to check this out. Of course, we gave it away. As you can see, it's one that slides forward. You move it forward and you pull back and the blade locks out. And if you click it back, it pops back in closed. But that's how this particular knife works. Okay, so phenomenal USA made knife. I think it runs around $70. I know they're coming out with newer designs that hopefully we'll check out in 2026, but just a really fantastic, innovative USA designed aluminum frame, frag pattern. Love it. There's a bunch of different designs for it. For 70 bucks USA made, it's phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal. But this year I got to check out something that was even better. Now, it is more expensive, so some of you guys are going to be like, this is ridiculous. I'm never going to pay this much. And that's fair. I'm not looking for the best price, the best deal. I'm sure there's other ones out there. Other reviewers will tell you this is my best pick because it's so cheap, it's inexpensive. I get it. I get all of that, and that's fair, right? But this is my pick. The best utility knife right now of 2025 for me is the Quiet Carry, the Reform. This is a utility knife that uses they have their utility blades. Now you can get your own, put them in there. It unscrews right there. You replace it and you put it in. But I will tell you, these blades, you get 10 of them for, I think it's like 10 of them for 10 bucks or whatever. But these are HRC 6364. It's a high steel, high carbon steel that works really phenomenally. All I can tell you is this utility blade, I've only had one in there so far, and it's been great. I have had no need to replace it, but this thing is just really phenomenal. This jimping here, everything about it. If you're going to carry a utility knife, this to me is it. And I enjoyed using this at Christmas a lot. Opening boxes, opening Christmas presents, cutting paper, wrapping presents. This thing is just phenomenal. Never mind opening boxes as they came in. I absolutely love this thing. Most innovative, or not most innovative, but best utility knife of the year is the Quiet Carry, the Reform. Love this thing. All right, the next category is going to be the best fixed blade. And number 3 right here is the Luft Concepts or Luft USA LTL. an amazing fixed blade. If you'll notice, this is an S45VN blade steel, a beautiful, I would call it probably a sheep's foot, semi-meat cleaver, you know, modified, whatever you want to call it, but it has that black, brown, and burgundy micarta, paper micarta handles, and a beautiful Kydex. Well, it's a 3D printed, but really high-end 3D printed, not the inexpensive, the stuff that, like, if you're gonna make pew-pews and stuff out of, right? It's just really, really high-end stuff. Fantastic, fantastic fixed blade by Luft Concepts or Luft USA. Made in the USA knives, really phenomenal out in Phoenix or out in Arizona. Just really phenomenal knife. It was our grand prize for the 10K celebration to our members. Love this knife. I will tell you that that is number 3 as far as the best fixed blade. Highly recommend it if you can get your hands on one. They do have some fantastic leather sheaths for it too, if you like that. All right, the number 2 best fixed blade for 2025 is going to be the Vero Engineering Axon. I really love this knife. Now, I got this early in the year. This is black micarta. This is actually DLC covered. I don't know if they still have it. This is number 631, but this is M390 blade steel on this guy. I've had an Axon knife that I love. The use of this and how it works in this holster. I decided to go with the belt loops because I carry vertical like this. It is just phenomenal, really phenomenal. Great steel, nice and sharp, very functional for what you need to do. Great handle, very comfortable, not going to turn. I love the jimping up here. It keeps me locked in. Love in here. I can lock in as well. So this was my number 2 fixed blade from Vero Engineering. Vero Engineering just knocking it out of the park, doing some amazing stuff. Really, really appreciate Joseph, Vero, and everyone over there. But this is a fantastic knife. This is my number 2 pick for 2025. All right, my number 1 pick for 2025 is the Quiet Carry, the Shallows. Or the Shallow, not Shallows. Maybe there's, if you have more than one, sure, call it the Shallows. But this is the Shallow knife. Now, I love the Mark. I still carry my Mark a lot from Quiet Carry. Love that knife. But this here has just a perfect ergonomics for just everyday use, right? Again, as you can see, I like certain size fixed blades. I like to vertically carry, especially I love the loops. That's how I carry my my McNeese Ridge Runner, and that's how I carry my Quiet Carry, the Mark, all like this, because that's just the most convenient way to carry it and be able to draw it left-handed. But such a great knife. This is in Vanek Super Clean, as you can see right there. Really great slicer. Not going to be a pry bar type of knife, very thin, so beautiful slicer, not super thin up here. There are some other fantastic knives. As a matter of fact, one just came out that I've got a chance to check out. It is called a Shady, and it would probably be a better like game prepping knife. I've only had it for a little bit. It's a loaner. I got to send it back, so I'm not really going to get a chance to check it out and carry it every day because I got to keep it as new as possible. But I think it's cool. It's absolutely cool. It could definitely be a contender. I just didn't have a chance to carry it and use it like I would if I owned a knife, but I think it definitely worth considering. But this is my favorite for 2025, the Shallows right here. Just really, really great knife. Now, mind you, I still love my Ridge Runner by McNeese and the Mark from Quiet Carry. Those are my 2 other favorite absolute knives that I carry all the time. I did have a Grackle. We gave that away. That was a real favorite to carry, but again, when I hit the 10K, we made sure I gave away some of the things that really meant a lot to me in my collection, and that was one of those. But this right here was my favorite for 2025. Just love everything about it. The handles were really comfortable, G10. Love the texture on here, love the design. It just looks sharp. It's super corrosion resistant. You can take off the scales if you need to clean it, if you do use this as a prep, you know, for game or something, or fish. So yeah, fantastic number 1 knife for fixed blade for 2025. All right, the next category is going to be my best scales for 2025. I want to start off with my number 5 choice. Now, this is a tough category. I have them in order, but they're all really good. And they're all really, really close. There's one that stands out because it's a custom scale. One that I think looks really good, and another one that I don't know. I like the 4 together, and they're by two different scale makers, and we'll talk about them. But the one custom one is my favorite. So, but I would say the next 4 are probably neck and neck, and they're all really good. I'm just kind of going in order, I guess, of for whatever reason. I don't know. I'm just telling you, this is just, it's somewhat of an order. I'm going to guess if you forced an order, this is what I would do, but I would tell you that it could move around easily. So number 5 is going to be my Lynch Northwest Para 3 thin scale, titanium scales right here. This is in a Cerakoted tan, I guess you could say, scales for a Para 3. This particular one happens to be in crew wear. I do have a CME installed. Now I would like to get a different color CME. This is an OCD by EDC. Lynch Northwest clip comes with this, and this is the scale. It's titanium. Now, what the deal about this one is, it works on FRN scales. That is the lightweight scales. That means that they are in that FRN injection molded. They usually come with just one phosphor bronze washer in there. It's kind of a weird, different material on there. And finding scales is usually difficult. Usually places to go is going to be applied weapons technology, which makes great scales, and I highly recommend them. But for titanium scales, I hadn't really found a place that was going to do that and do it well. Now, man, boy, did Lynch Northwest knock it out of the park. If you're gonna get an FRN scale, this completely changes the game for me. It used to be I waited for the G10 version of the Para 3, but thanks to what Lynch Northwest has done with this, I feel like I can get an FRN or I can get the G10 scales now. I have options. This is fantastic. In some ways, this is even better because what it does, it is linerless on one part. It uses the FRN inside parts, if you will. It adds a phosphor bronze washer, and it's done so well. The action is phenomenal. Dead nut centered. It even adds a floating backspacer, which I thought was a really nice touch. Titanium scales. Now this is Cerakoted. You can get it in raw, stone washed, or sandblasted or bead blasted kind of scales. They sell out so fast, and I was just happy to get one of these. I think it's phenomenal. I would like to get another set of these for some other knives. I think would look really good. But it's such a good scale, such a lightweight, titanium, really premium knife. It really jumps up the quality of this knife right here. If I didn't already have my M4 in another really fantastic set of scales, I would absolutely put my M4 in this one. But the crew wear just well deserved to be in something like this. Looks just really good. I love these. This is my number 5 right here. All right, number 4 is going to be my Rockscale Design. Now, I've got these early in the year. They're patinaed up a little bit. It looks like it's a little dull, whatever, but they're beautifully bronzed when I first got it. This is a titanium CME. Of course, I have a little satin finished Lynch Northwest clip on this one, but this is the Rockscale Design scales with the backspacer. This is my Spyderco Shaman in L-Max from Blade Ops, an exclusive. This is probably the smoothest Spyderco that I have. I literally can I do it here? Let's see if we can get it done. Yeah, I can reach around, flip the Spyderco Shaman. This is such a beautiful knife. Works really, really great. But these scales are phenomenal. Dead nut centered. Action is phenomenal on this guy. Love these things. Rockscale Design knocks it out, as does Lynch Northwest. They're both really outstanding scale makers. I love their work. USA made stuff. Phenomenal. So that's 5, 4, 3. Number 3, it's going to be a Lynch Northwest scales for another Shaman. This is for the Salt series, CPM MagnaCut DCL coated blade. I did use the original DLC coated backspacer that came with the Shaman because that is same steel as this, and it is DLC coated, and it just looked nice. And then I did a kind of a Topo G10 CME from OCD for EDC. He sells the CME. It's compression made easy. Highly recommend those on these guys. I have them on here. I have them on here. And I have them on most Spydercos that has a compression lock. But again, this is linerless on one side on this particular one. And it does have great weight relief. This is the skinny one, makes this a little more comfortable. As you can see the difference here. Here you have down here a little bit. What's nice about that, it gives you just a nice, better feel, comfort. For my hands, this works really, really well. So this was very enjoyable. Just got this knife. It's still kind of breaking in. I have a feeling it's going to be as smooth as that at some point. I did work on it a little bit when I first got it, but these are just phenomenal scales. I love the roundedness on here. Man, Lynch Northwest just executed really, really well in these scales, and just really phenomenal skills right here. I mean, I can't complain about any of these guys. They're all just really, really phenomenal here. All right, the number 2 scale for me is going to be against Rockscale Design. Now, this is on an 8020S. This is an Andrew Demko USA made Slim, 80/20 Slim, USA made knife. Now this is the slim version, so it has the thinner blade stock that's on an 80/20. Typically 80/20s are big old honking giant knives and big old honking everything. So this is the thinner blade stock, which I think is great. And they just came out with a thinner back spacer to go with the thinner blade stock. So that was a wonderful thing. I didn't have to use the standoffs, and I was able to put a little bit of punch of color on there. Since I call this like my silver shark, I felt green would work. You know, I don't know. It sounds stupid, but I thought like a little bit of algae. It's ocean. It's a silver shark, right? Why not? Let's put a little touch on there. And of course, you have a Lynch Northwest deep pocket carry clip here. I do know Original Goat's coming out with some phenomenal clips. I hope I can get one next year. I really wish I could have had that on here. I think it would have looked amazing. The one thing I love about Rockscale Design scales for the 80/20. And the 80/20.5 and 80/20.5 Shark Cub, they do this cutaway. First of all, it's a linerless, so you drop the liners, and then you can get your finger in there. There's much more cut weight relief to get in there. I have big old meaty fingers. This allows me to get in there. I'm not just barely on the tip like you are with most 80/20s or 80/20.5s. I can get in there. It's just super comfortable, and this is huge. Now, one of the knives that could have been on this category if it wasn't already the 80/20S is the 80/20.5 Shark Cub. I had one this year, loved it, reviewed it, sold that guy to help challenge buy other knives, but it is phenomenal. The cutaway on that thing, especially being thinner and a little smaller for big old meaty fingers like me, it was just wonderfully welcomed and a wonderful thing to have for access. That makes this scales just really, really phenomenal. You know, the new thinner back spacer, and you can see these are the thinner scales too. Now these stand off a little bit. Some people may not like this. You can get the thicker scales, and this will be more flush. And if that's important to you, then go for it. For me, I wanted it to be thinner. I have shorter fingers, but I have big old giant wide meaty hands. You can also do the skinny part like we did here, and it's done here. You can do that on here as well. I didn't get it on these ones, but it's okay. It's an 80/20.5. I on my 80/20, sorry, it's an 80/20S Slim. On my 80/20.5, I had that, and it was fantastic for my hands. But that is really another phenomenal thing to get right there. So that was my number 2 best scale of the year. My number 1 scale of the year is a full custom. It's made by a friend, and if you can get on his books, I highly recommend it. It is a J. Dizzle design. This is a custom butterscotch antique paper micarta scale made for my smock, Rex 45. This was a GP Knives exclusive. You'll see Rex 45 blade steel with a DLC. This is that new titanium DLC coating that Spyderco came out with. Fantastic knife. Love this set of scales. Just beautiful. These are going to age and patina with time. And these are the antique paper micarta butterscotch design. And they get darker and darker over time, which is fine. If you saw some of the early releases, it was probably a little brighter early, but I love the darkness of this, and it matches all the dark inlays and the DLC and all that stuff. I think it's just phenomenal. So this is my absolute favorite scale of the year. Love what J. Dizzle Designs does. If you can get on their books, on his books, I recommend it. He does some phenomenal work. He's done Sabenzas and all sorts of other stuff, but he just knocked it out of the park. Every time I put this up, people ask me about it. People offer to buy it. It's not for sale. I love this knife, and it's going to stay in my collection, right? So there you go. Those are my best scales for 2025. And let's get on to the next one. All right, my next category is going to be the best non-USA production knives. And I have 5 knives for this category. Could have been more. I have a lot of knives that I really enjoy. So let's talk about it. Number 5, the first knife is going to be the One Track Mind Zorn. This just came in recently, but man, I love this knife. The action on this thing is just beautifully smooth. It is a Riot made knife. The action is just perfect. Everything about it is gorgeous. Just simply stunning all the way around. Love how this knife looks and handles and feels. Just beautiful. Just a real fidget kind of a banger. You know, just love the way it works, the front flipper, all that stuff. The action is just phenomenal. I did put skiffs on it. Obviously, I do skiffs probably on most everything, but this one is phenomenal. Now, I know it dropped and sold out really quick. I think he's going to do a small drop. I don't know, depending on when this video drops, see if he's already done the drop, but he may do another one. I'm sure people give enough interest and tell him, please, please, please make more. I'm sure he's got to make more, because this thing is, people are banging at the door to get more of these. It is that good. And I love this particular version. This is the satin kind of polished. I love how the scales really pop out. Reminds me a little bit of my Brown Knives Mini Cortex, but anyways, nowhere near the caliber of that one, but as beautiful in some ways, yes. All right, the number 4 for my best non-USA production knife is going to be my Vero Engineering, the Mini Nova. Love this little guy here. Now, I did spruce this up with the Damascus backspacer, as you can see, absolutely stunning, gorgeous there, and the Damascus clip. Even without that, this thing is just phenomenal. I did put skiffs in there, but there is a regular version of this. So if you like the full-size version, you got big, giant, super huge hands, then maybe get that. But I like the way this fit for me. I have shorter fingers, but I got big old meaty hands, meaty fingers. So my hand width-wise is the size of an extra large, right? But my fingers are medium length. So this size worked really, really well for me. It's a really great EDC carry, and I absolutely love this particular knife. I think it's phenomenal. This is just really an outstanding design. The front flipper, the fuller, everything works really great. And the action on this thing is just really, really phenomenal. This is one of those from Vero that I very much enjoyed, and I feel like it's just really, really a great knife. Once they drop, you should consider one of those. Now, again, like I said, there's a regular, fuller, larger version of it. And if you like bigger knives, maybe get both. I don't know. All right, my number 3 knife. Now, this one would have been, originally, it would have been another version from this manufacturer. It was the very first knife I bought from them, which is from Poikilo Blade. They make some incredible knives. The first one that I looked at was the Poikilo Gecko, and it dropped. I found out about it on Blade Show Atlanta. Didn't know anything about him. I heard about him, and I was like, who is this? And one of the guys, another knife channel, he had a gecko, and he showed it to me while having dinner after the Blade Show. And I was like, I love this thing. I got to get a hold of it. So I went to EDC Lifestyle. Sorry, EDC Lifestyle up in Dallas, and they had one, and I got it. I love it. Now, it was a little smaller, but I enjoyed the heck out of the knife. It was just so well made. M398 blade steel. It didn't have the crystallized titanium inlays like this does. There's another version of this one that's DLC and polished. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. But it was the Gecko. It's like a smaller version. This is like the larger version of the Gecko. Now, this is the VK Crab, so it has Vulpex knives right there. They're one of the designers that helped create this. Now, Vulpex did a whole bunch of other versions and other knives. I mean, their design touches are phenomenal. But I loved how this one looked. And this one really has the action, the access that I enjoy for a front flipper. I mean, just everything about this knife just works really great. Oops. I can flip it. I can roll it. It's just really phenomenal. And the skiffs on here are just phenomenal. M398 blade steel. I love this pearlescent finish that's on the blade. Simply stunning. Just a great knife. You can choke up. Plenty of room for big old large hands. Super comfortable to clip everything in here. It does have hidden hardware. There's one little screw in there, which I think is phenomenal. Such a phenomenally fantastic knife. I really, really, really like this one a lot. So yeah, that's a Poikilo Designs. It's the VK Crab. So it's a Poikilo and Poikilo blade and Vulpex knives collab called a VK Crab. My number 3 pick from them. All right, my number 2. Now, again, there was like 3 or 4 knives this year that came out that were just phenomenal. And I felt like putting them all in there at the same time would be kind of unfair to other manufacturers. But we first started off the year with the last year it was one of my big picks was the Quiet Carry Drift LCT. It was a contoured large version, titanium version of the Drift. This is the Drift C. Contoured drift. This is like the original size drift, and I had one of the first ones. It first came out with thumb holes, then it came with thumb studs, and the blade was a little light, and it was a little hard for me to work. It was before I really knew how to tune knives and stuff like that. So I didn't keep it for long, and it was hard to carry. I sold it, but then they came out with the Drift L, which was a larger version, and that was on phosphor bronze, Vanek super clean. It's still in my collection. One of my favorite, probably the favorite knife in my collection, until maybe this one. I don't know. This one is really competing well. This is also Vanek super clean. It is contoured. I did put skiffs in there. The action on this thing is phenomenal. It's middle finger reverse flick. Just really nice, clickety, just really fantastic, beautiful slicey. Choke up with the finger, super comfortable. Everything is just super, super, super comfortable here. Love this thing. Now, it could have been the strand. They dropped a strand in the beginning of the year, and that was just phenomenal. Phosphor bronze, Vanek super clean, great knife. A lot of people have this as their knife of the year. I know a couple of folks who did, and I love the knife. I think it's fantastic. It's stunning. It's like a different version of the Drift L. It's like a thinner, kind of a more traditional shaped, not big bellied kind of a version of the Drift. And some people are going to enjoy that. So it's kind of like this type of, more traditional looking knife of the Drift, the strand, or not of the Drift, but just a knife. Fantastic knife. Then they came out with a Catch, which was a weird looking knife. I thought, I don't know if that's going to work. The ergonomics were phenomenal. And it was going to be my pick until I got a hold of this thing. It just came out at the end of the year. I still think the Catch is a phenomenal knife. I still think if you wanted something a little bit smaller, maybe just different ergonomics, works really phenomenal. I wish I could have every knife I've ever bought and carried. I just can't. As a small channel, I've got to move knives to have new knives, because I don't always get knives. And if I'm given knives, then they become giveaways, right? So knives that I'm given tend to become giveaway knives for like the big 10K, things like that. They were given away. I've given away a ton of quiet carry knives over some of the big milestones that we've had over the years, and probably be no exception ongoing, because this knife right here is just that good. I don't want to get rid of it. I may have to buy another one to give away, but this one is just that good. It is just really super comfortable. I am super excited about this one. I think this is one of those, it's going to be a phenomenal knife coming up. People are going to love it. I think it's just really, really fantastic. So that was my number 2 pick. My number 1, I own it. It's loaned out to a fellow knife channel because I really wanted to check it out. I was hoping it'd be back by the time I recorded this, but I didn't get it back in time. So you'll have to see a picture right here. It is the Dalibor Bergam production knife of the Asgard. Man, this thing is good. It is just phenomenal. A great, great, great knife. And it is, he did a run of 100, and I have one of them. I think it's phenomenal. I put skiffs in there. It's an integral. Riot did do that one. This is made in Taiwan. This is made in China by Poi Kilo. This is made, I believe, by Bestech in China. This is made by Riot. And this particular one right here, again, popping it back up, the Dalibor Bergam is made by Riot. It is an integral. It is phenomenal. Everything about it, the ergonomics, the shapes, it's just great. And Dalibor Bergam, if you don't know, is a phenomenal custom knife maker, but it is my absolute number 1 pick for best non-USA production knife. Just phenomenal. Everything about it, ergonomics, action, the feel of the knife, the strength of just the solidness of the knife is just phenomenal. It feels great in the hand. Just executed really well. So that's my number 1 pick. All right, we're going to the next one. My next category is going to be the best USA production knife. Now, this one I have 3. There are a lot of knives that probably could fall into this, but they're kind of going to be in the high end to custom to full custom knife section. So we're limiting it to 3 because I'm trying not to do major overlap. It's going to happen, unfortunately, but in this case, this one I'm trying to limit it. So we're going to do 3 here. This particular one here, my number 3 best USA production knife right now is the Tactile Knife Company Rockwall Flipper version 2. I had the version 2 Flipper version 2 without the skeletonized version. Loved it. Put skiffs in there. Action was phenomenal. Ended up selling it for the channel to be able to do some more things. And then I heard about this. I thought, okay, it's skeletonized. I don't know if I'm a big, that kind of didn't really pull me in. But then when I heard this was a full flat grind, And the flat grind was super slicey thin. I was like, well, I don't know. And as you can see, I just used it recently and break down some boxes. And I got to tell you, I put Skiffs in there, and the action on this thing is phenomenal. Tactile Knife Company knocked it out of the park. I think this is their best knife. It was the first knife. They started off with a Rockwall flipper. That was their very first knife. It had bearings, but they weren't caged. They were free-floating bearings, so it was difficult to take apart clean, which I did. I had one, and I took it apart. It was just really small for my big old meaty hands. Then they did the thumb studs. I could never use it. Just so awkward for my hand. I hope they do a thumb stud this size version. That's not with the thumb studs right on the scale, because it doesn't work with big old meaty fingers. It's just horrible. The good news is it is linerless, and I could, with everything I know now, I can do the cutaway here. I could make it more accessible for me, and I may do that since I tend to modify knives I really love, because I think this would be just a really cool knife to get modified, so I can get that drop down there, clear the detent even better. It works really great now, and it keeps breaking in more and more, and it's just phenomenal. So this was my number 3 pick for best USA production knife. It is phenomenal. It is phenomenal. Very happy with this one. Really enjoy carrying this one a lot. All right, my number 2 best USA production knife is going to be one that I got a chance to check out early, and I love this knife. Most of you guys may have it and may agree with me or may not agree with me. It is the Dixon. Now, this is the very first drop of the Dixon. You're going, that does not look like a first drop of the Dixon. You're probably right, because I modified this one. I polished the very acid washed scales because I wanted it to look different. I did a hand satin finish on the clip and on the outside here, and even I polished the hollow grind on the blade. Why did I do that? Because I scratched the snot out of the scale as soon as I got it, and I was really bummed about that. And I needed my big old meaty fingers. It was a little tight in here. And for me, I love this knife so much. I felt like just a little bit of cut relief and it would be great. And I did. And for me, it is phenomenal. I know the Mac 2 had some evolution of it over time, and I'm hoping they look at some of those things and maybe consider them, because I think having a little cutaway here is the best way to do this knife, my personal opinion. It's such a good knife. It just opens up the knife for big old meaty finger folk like me. It's totally their design. They can do what they want, but I can also buy this knife and modify it like I want. To me, this felt like this made this knife even better. But the action is what gets me. I have skiffs on there. Do you need skiffs? No, because the action was beautiful. But it has the traditional McNeese super drop shutty action, very controlled, super smooth. You can see that. And it's buttery smooth. It's so comfortable, and you can choke up. It just feels really great in hand. The clip here as well, with this nice milled clip and everything. I love that. It is right hand tip up only. I did soften the corners for me. That was important. Made it just more comfortable for me. But I love the way it looks. To me, it looks just very uniquely my own with the hand satin finish. I felt like that just looked gorgeous on here, and I loved the little polish of the hollow grind here. I felt like that made it pop out a little bit more. Oh boy, and this is slicey in that MagnaCut 6364 HRC. Super, super awesome knife. And I did polish. You can barely see the McNeese right there. I don't know if you can see that, the McNeese right there. And then you can see over here, you can see the MagnaCut barely there. And then you can see the little USA logo barely right there, just barely right there. Anyways, that's because I polished it. But you know, I don't regret it at all. I love this thing. Matter of fact, people who see this tend to offer me to buy it. And I'm like, no, I put a lot of work in this. And you would probably end up offering me like way less than what I know it's worth. And so I'm not going to sell that. I'm sorry, because it is worth a lot more than that to me. At least the amount of labor that I put into this. So, even then, if someone offered me what I felt like was fair for the labor, I don't want to have to start all over. I love this knife. All right, my number 1 best USA production knife. Now, these are great, but the one that I'm picking for my number 1 is the Machine Wise Mojave. I saw this knife when it came out, and they were talking about this because I have a Sonora. I love my Sonora. I just really love my Sonora. Love Martine and the whole gang over there. Those are just phenomenal folks. Just really great, wonderful people. But I saw the prototypes of this, and I said, man, this is going to be special. This is something special. I could see the vision, what they were having. And a lot of people looked at it and said, I don't know, this, that. No, no, no. And then I started seeing the details, the rounded corners, all the little touches, you know, the chamfering in here and the cutaway. I saw them as they were doing this. And you can even see here the milling texture on this swedge up here. The swedge has actually texture on there. Can you see that? Beautiful texturing right there. I that's phenomenal. And now I did have originally the lanyard loop in there. I did send it in for spa treatment, and I got the non-lanyard version. I like this more. Now, if you love a lanyard, you can get the one with the lanyard. They do both now. But this to me is more comfortable, feels better in hand, and the action is just phenomenal. This is one of the 20 CV ones. The newer ones are in S90V. Makes me almost want to go get another one. This is number 166, so you can see it's one of the older versions, but 20 CV on here. Just phenomenal knife. I love this thing. Action is beautiful. It actually runs on skiffs already. I put skiffs in both of these, but this came with skiffs because, you know, they know. And you can actually front flip it. You know, you can flip it here. I know some people who want to see a flipper delete. I like my flipper. I do. Matter of fact, I even put a little extra line of jimping on there because that way I won't ever slip off. I did that with the Sonora, and I did it on this one, and I don't regret it. I think it's just makes this knife just even better. Now the fuller is phenomenal. It works really great. You can absolutely get in here, kind of slow roll it, all sorts of stuff. You can come over here, absolutely reverse flick it over here and flip it. It's just really neat. Such a great knife. That's my number one best USA production knife right here is the Machine Wise Mojave. Just phenomenal. And by the way, I had one of these and I saw this anodization. This is called a, what do they call it? Rough treatment, dirt. I don't know. It's a special type of anodization and it looks kind of rough. And it's meant to look that way. And it looks cool because it's very consistent and they do that. I love the look of it. It's just not perfectly pristine. It looks like it's, I don't know. It makes the anodization look cool. Just my opinion. You know, so cool that I bought this and then sold the other one because I thought that was just so stinking cool. Yeah, maybe I'll still get another one because they got new milling patterns and all sorts of stuff that they keep coming out with. It's just phenomenal. But that's my number one best USA production knife. Let's go to the next one. All right, the next category is the best knife. Now I've gone into best non-production USA, best USA production knives. Now I go into my categories. We already did the budget. Well, we did super budget. We did budget. I kind of did a crazy super budget, which I had to throw in there because of that. Ozark Trails did with their particular knife. It's a ridiculous knife. But we are now getting into the rest of the category. So I have super budget. I have regular knife category. I have high end, and then I have mid-tech custom. But I really have always talked about doing mid-tech / custom and then doing a full custom, right? Kind of breaking it up the category. So we're going to do the knife category next. Best knife category. Number 3 is going to be the Lion Steel Slim. This is a Spyderco and Lion Steel collab. It is a Spyderco knife, as you can see, but it's made by Lion Steel, M390 blade steel. This is a slim titanium clip on here. It is a frame lock steel bar insert. It does have a flipper. It is removable, so people over in Italy and other European countries, they can remove that. But it has the traditional thumb hole of Spyderco's. Now I like to keep my flipper on there, and I did put skiffs in this. The cool thing about this is an integral, and it's less than $300. That's what was insane about this. And yeah, absolutely phenomenal knife. Reverse flicking is phenomenal. Thumb flicking is phenomenal. Slow roll it if you want is phenomenal. And the flipper. Now I did put a single line of jimping. You know how I like to do that. A lot of people, I saw people flipping it and they liked it, but you put that little line of jimping on there, man, this thing is just the money. It's just money. It's like you never fail. You don't feel frustrated that your finger slips off ever again. It's just really phenomenal. And some people are like, well, it's Lion Steel. What about the heat treat? You know, what I saw the latest data, it seemed like they are hitting it. And I will tell you, this one has been fine. I've been stropping it, using it. It's handled really well. It's not like gone dull immediately and been super crazy disappointing. So I don't know if I got lucky or if maybe Lion Steel is doing better. I did hear some reports that they were upping their heat treat. So hopefully that's the case with this one. But I like it. I like it a lot. I like the carbon fiber inlay here. That's really cool. It's kind of like a white G10 whatever inlay. I think it's really nice. It is an integral. I think that's really cool. Nice and easy access. You can see that great cutaway, so it's easy to get in there. Just a really nice knife. I like this a lot. This is a very, very, very cool knife to have. So my number 3 in the knife category. Number 2 in the knife category, and it's just right at the limit. So this was the Sage 6. Now the Sage 6 in the S30VN blade steel would definitely fall into this category, but the Sage 6 in the S90V would definitely be right at the very limit of this category. Now, if you looked around and you found one that was, maybe you got a discount on it, like you went to White Mountain Knives, maybe you went to, I don't know, Freedom Knife Shop, or you went to Lone Star knife shop, or there's a whole bunch of different ones that are out there. I know I'm missing some other ones. My goodness, why is my brain suddenly not remembering? But it's where I got this knife. It is Heroic EDC. They also would, you can get 10% off with using RNK10. So definitely go check it out. And this would definitely bring it into this category, at least for this one. This was kind of a limit, so I don't know if it's still going to be around, but S30V will be. I love this full carbon. This is a full carbon scale. It is a button lock compression. I love, it's like the Smock in that regard. It had two detent balls, and I removed the second one, which made the action just really phenomenal. And the S90V, it's heat treated well, because man, this thing is crazy, crazy sharp. I can whittle hair with this. It's just great. Just action of this is great. I think the Sage 6 is, I don't know, I enjoy that even more than a Para 3. And I love my Para 3s. I've got a bunch of them, but I think it's phenomenal. So that's my number 2. Now my number 1 is the Kershaw Bel Air XL. This recently is going to be a giveaway, and it'll probably be somebody else's knife, because we're going to make a big giveaway production out of this. I actually bought this at the Freedom Knife Shop. They have great deals there, by the way. I highly recommend you go check them out. Go find something, put it in your shopping cart, log in and check out and see what the price. Sometimes if they can offer a deal that they can't advertise, it's definitely worth checking out. I'm just telling you, I go shopping there a lot. I bought a lot of knives there, and I found some great deals. I'm all about finding deals at any store that I go to, honestly. So I don't get my knives for free. I'm not a big giant channel where everything comes in for free. I buy my stuff, just so you know. Sometimes I get things for free, but everything I get for free ends up being given away, just so you know. I wish I got free stuff just to keep, but it doesn't work that way. I'm a small channel part-time guy. So, but this is my number 1 for the knife category. It is just hands down the best value for what you get. 140 bucks, USA made, Magna cut, super thin slicey. Steel liners, G10 scales. I mean, you can't compete at that price level for what you get. I don't even think some of the Chinese makers can compete at the price for what you get. They just must execute the production just so perfectly well. This is made in Taiwan, and I mean, it is fancier materials. It is fancier steel, so I get it. And this is made in Italy. Again, this is really phenomenal too when you think about it. This is an integral, less than $300, M390. This is also kind of insane what they've done here as well. So really 3 phenomenal knives here in the knife category, which is between $100 and $300. So right now, number 3, number 2, number 1, and this is the winner again, the Kershaw Bel Air XL. Phenomenal knife. All right, next category. All right, the next category is the best high-end knife category. That's between $300 and $600. And so the first one is going to be the TRM Neutron version 2. This is the frame lock version right here. I don't have one. We ended up giving that away. It was a big giveaway for the channel. It is the TRM frame lock version 2, a super, super amazing knife. I highly recommend it. If you've seen the Neutron, which was a liner lock, had two scales, this is the frame lock version. I really like what they're doing. They have like the Bulldog, which is another amazing knife, but this frame lock was just phenomenal. I got to give hands down. It's just well executed. I love everything about it. It was one of those knives that's like, oh, I hate to see it go. But, you know, in order to keep the channel going, you got to do what you got to do. But it is my number 4 pick, the TRM Neutron 2, which is it's Neutron 2 because it's the frame lock version. So there you go. All right. Number 3 again is another picture. This is the Knoll Knives Raiden R2. So if you've seen the Raiden before, the Raiden R2 made by Riot Knives is phenomenal. I love this knife, so smooth. Action was phenomenal. Everything about it was executed really well. It just great to open and close. Anything that I didn't care for the Raiden version 1, they fixed. Sean is just a phenomenal knife designer. I love this thing. It was easy to open, easy to close. It was cool looking. The action was just unbelievably awesome. It had sharp corners. It looked rugged. It looked industrial, but it felt so comfortable in hand. There was nothing that dug in, nothing that dug in, gave me hot spots, were sharp. It worked. It's like really weird. Sometimes you see a knife and you think, oh, that's going to be uncomfortable. This is not. It just really works well. So that's my number 3 knife. Love that knife. It killed me to have to sell that one to keep the channel going, but you know, like I said, I'm not independently wealthy. If I could keep every knife I've ever bought, I'd probably have 600-700 knives in my collection, but I don't have those kind of funds. I have 2 kids in college, so it just is what it is, right? You got to do what you got to do. But I got a chance to check it out. It was awesome. It's a great knife. Sean just does incredible knife designs. I hope to have some of his other knives in the future as well. All right, the number 2 knife. Now, this is a personal favorite. I typically try to avoid doing knives by other channels because it seems like I'm picking favorites, but this one, it's good. It's just good. I mean, this is an absolutely objective review. I was critical of some things immediately, and I am totally been fair about everything that I talked about. This is the Metal Complex Kunwu designed Excalibur. This is the integral version. Now, he is coming out with a 2-piece sandwich construction, should be coming out, and he's even making a compact version of that. Now, when this first came out, it had some controversy with the clip. People were very upset. I modified my clip. I re-anodized it, and I kind of created a unique anodization on mine. That's just what I do. But this clip works really great for me and for what I need. So I had no issues with this clip going forward. And for me, it was great. Others, you know, they got the new clip and that works even better for them. I wanted this to be away from where this cutout was because I knew that would cause ripping of the pants because it would cinch up, and also made it thinner on top. Works great for me. But the thing again, this is in Vanek Super Clean. It is DLC coated, which is phenomenal. It has thumb studs. It has a fuller. It has thumb holes. So you can reverse flick, do all sorts of stuff. I can even kind of, let's see if I can still do it. I can kind of front flip it. I mean, it's not intended to be, but you could front flip it, right? So if I had gotten the non-DLC version, I could have sharpened it up, put an extra little notch in there, and it would have been probably a super easy front flipper to do. I did modify the Damascus pivot collars as well to make them look kind of more consistent with the rest of the knife. Put skiffs in there. Action is beautiful. It is an integral. Super, super awesome DLC all the way around. Kunwu knocked it out of the park, and I like the design. I'm not a fanboy of Metal Complex in the traditional sense that if he does anything, I'm going to love it, right? I have no problems criticizing Richard. He's a great guy. There's many things I disagree with him on, and many things I do agree with him about, and I appreciate him. I appreciate him for the controversy that he sometimes stirs, and the great reviews that he does, and the really neat topics that he brings up. And I do also appreciate his approach to avoiding controversy. I very much have embraced that myself personally. So, yeah, just a really good guy overall. Besides all of that, this is a good knife. This is a good design. It works. It works really well. It's comfortable in hand. It's a big one. Even this big design works well for me, and I liked it. I always thought, man, if this was just a little bit smaller, it'd be cool. Well, guess what? He's coming out with a compact version. I'm not going to get a chance to check that prototype out, so I'm really excited about that. I think it's going to be just my gut feeling, and I could be wrong, but my gut feeling is I think it's going to be even better than this one for some of us. Now, other people are going to love the bigger knife, and they're going to always be, I want the giant 20-foot knife. You know, I get it. If you want a 20-foot knife, congratulations. But for the rest of us, we might really enjoy this, right? So this is my number 2 knife for best high-end. My number 1 best high-end knife, and this is kind of crazy because I had a Sakosha this year and I had some other ones, but you're all going to kind of flip out. This is the FIF 18. Everyone's like, oh, got to get the FIF 20. You got to get the FIF 25 or the FIF 200 or whatever. I like the FIF 18. It's a perfect size for my hands, for my big, large, big, meaty fingers. I mean, I have extra large kind of width-wise here, and it works. And it works. It's so fidgety. It works really great. The action is phenomenal. Yes, I put skiffs in there. I love the blade. I love the high polish on the swedge up here. It looks cool. It is cool. It's M398 plate steel. It flips really well. It's just a really, let me get up there. It's a really fun knife just to fidget with, right? And it just works. It works really well. And you can middle finger bonus reverse flick it, which to me is always nice. I like this knife. I like this one better than the Sakosha. I thought the Sakosha was great. I ended up selling that one because it was too big. It was a cool knife, but it was too big. And this one, I love. I enjoyed the heck out of this knife, and I have not been disappointed with this knife at all. I do enjoy carrying this very regularly. Still, it gets into my rotation regularly, even like the Excalibur does. So my number 2 and my number 1 best high-end knife is going to be the Custom Knife Works, or the Custom Knife Factory FIF 18. All right, next category. All right, my next category is the best mid-tech custom knife category. I'm going to follow that up with the best full custom knife category, but this is the best mid-tech / custom. All right, so some of these some people might argue are custom. Some people may heavily argue that it's truly mid-tech. Others may argue it's production. I kind of consider it mid-tech / custom because it's still super small batch, very much hands-on by a very select few for every one of these knives that are in my collection here, these next 5 knives. The category after that are definitely what I would consider more true custom. Now, some people may say there's some mid-tech in there. Fine, whatever you want to call it, but they're more custom to me than anything. All right, number 5 is going to be, right now, my Arnaud Bernard Senior Orca version 2.0. I had an iMamba, love my iMamba, sold it, but got this Orca 2.0. Ooh, Arnaud Bernard Senior, Dad, really made a phenomenal knife. M390 blade steel. I love the frame lock. I love the flipper on this thing. The flipper is jimped all the way around. Just works really better. Very snappy than the iMamba. I really like that. I love the backspace in the lanyard. I love the clip. Everything's really cool. Really works great in and out. Sorry, I have a little lint from being in my pocket there because, tears my pockets apart because I've carried other knives that were very not helpful. Runs on Skiff Caged Bearings already. I love the cutout, the fuller hole, the design of it. The jimping is really great. Can choke up. Love this M390 polished blade steel. Just really gorgeous. Love everything about this. Action is just great. So that's my number 5 knife. And number 4. Now, we have some cross things going on here, and I apologize. This one came up again, but I have to bring it up. This is my McNeese Dixon. It is the number 4 best mid-tech custom knife. It is a little bit more on the higher end. It's definitely over $600. So that's what puts it into this category, because usually mid-tech custom is $600 and above. And with all the custom work I did on this thing, definitely I feel like this knife is probably the value, the work, everything I've done. This makes this an $800 to $900 knife, in my opinion, personally. But it is just that good. We've already talked about it. You know everything about it. I love the action. It's got skiffs. It's beautiful. Everything. It's just action is buttery smooth. I think Jonathan did just such a great work on this particular design. I'm very pleased with it. I got a chance to check it out earlier. I got a chance to check out the prototype at Blade Show, Texas, and I knew at that point this is something special. And I said that very confidently to Jonathan McNeese. I wasn't trying to hype him up and blow sunshine up his nose, but I felt like this was something that really had some fantastic potential. It's based off of his custom that he came out with in 2010. So just really been around forever, right? But a production, kind of very refined version for a production knife. I love it. All right, my number 3 knife is going to be one that some people are going to be arguing, this should be in the next category, and this should be number 1. Probably, it could be. It is that good. It is probably the best version of any knife that he's ever made, and it could very heavily compete with the next 2 knives. But the next 3 knives really are very close, neck and neck, for the best mid-tech custom category. And it is the Craig Brown Knives Mini Cortex. Oops, of course I did that wrong. Mini Cortex. Love this knife. It's such a fidgety, wonderful little knife. Really great in hand. Contoured scales, the milling pattern, everything on here is just phenomenal. It is, yeah, it's a fuller only, but the action is great. It comes with skiffs already because Craig Brown went to skiffs. Just like, Arnaud Bernard Senior's uses skiffs. Now, I do know Jonathan McNeese considered skiffs at one point, but because he gets all these other parts from other makers, it didn't make sense, and I get that. But I think his knife is a very good candidate for skiffs, in my personal opinion. I think it just makes the knife even better. But this is just phenomenal. I love this. The best brown knives out there, period, as far as I'm concerned. And I've owned the Cortex XL, the Mini FSD. I have a couple of those. The inset lino lock. I've handled the Mini FSD, and they're all phenomenal. And I've handled actually many of those knives a few times over, and they're all great, but this is my absolute favorite of all of those. So much so, I sold my Mini FSDI, which I loved. It was a great knife. This one I carry way more than the Mini FSDI, and so I don't regret selling it. Yeah, again, unlimited funds, I would probably have kept it, sure. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. I'm doing a channel. I got to keep moving stuff, and it's just the reality of life of being a channel and trying to keep doing stuff. My number two favorite, my number two best mid-tech custom knife. It came out this year and it blew my socks away. I was shocked by it. I reached out to them. Everyone kept asking me about it. Everyone wanted me to review it. Everyone wanted me to compare it. They all thought, you got to check this out. You got to see it. What's your thoughts on it? So I reached out to them and I said, hey, I've been getting a lot of questions about this knife. Everyone wants me to compare it. And I did. I asked them and they sent me one. And boy, was it amazing. It is the Arnaud Bernard Tarraco, their button lock. And you're thinking like, button lock? This is not your mama's button lock. This is next level, man. This is so good. So good. The action on this thing is like, I don't know, it's like the Mini Cortex. For a button lock, to have that kind of closed, buttery smooth, it is so good. And it locks in place. Solid, no movement anywhere. It's absolutely in there. It's got a beautiful fuller. It's got thumb studs, cool thumb studs, not just thumb studs, but really cool functional thumb studs. A very cool functional flipper as well. You can see that works really, really outstandingly. A full finger choil works great to get in there. Beautiful crown spine, beautiful RWL34 polished blade steel on there. This thing is just the bee's knees. And I love the clip here. Works really great in and out of the pocket. Of course, as soon as I got it, I carried everything. I got a little snail trail. So I kind of polished up a little flits on here to kind of take some of that snail trail away. Because when it's really chalky, those snail trails come up really quick. So I did that just because I want to keep carrying it. I enjoy carrying this. It is not a safe queen. I have no safe queens, if you didn't know, in my collection. If a knife turns out that I'm treating it like a safe queen, it's a catch and release. I'm not going to keep it. I think I have a couple that might fall into that category. And it makes me sad because they're going to probably be in this category here next with a couple of things. But it is what it is, right? It is what it is. We have to do that. But this is my number two. Arnaud Bernard Tarraco is phenomenal button lock. The Sonora is amazing. I have an Anzo, a Jens Anzo Toko, which is amazing. It's going to be in the next category. It's just phenomenal. I have a Les George VECP, amazing. And I have a Mordax, a ProTech Mordax, which was my Bigfoot knife, all amazing. This is one of the premium luxury button locks out there. What I love about it is just so functional and solid. It feels like it's a workhorse. The Sonora and this feel like both of those things, right? So I love it. My number one mid-tech custom knife. Now this one could fall into the full custom, but I think it's mid-tech, to be fair. Again, another knife that has a little bit of overlap, but to be fair, there's a reason for it. It's going to be my Machine Wise Mojave. This thing is just that good. The Machine Wise Mojave is just outstanding. The action, the phenomenal work. Again, we talked about it earlier. When I saw the prototype for this thing, I felt like this was going to be special. And it is. It's been that, everything, and more. I have loved everything about it. I think they've just knocked it out of the park. Hit a home run. And it just keeps getting better. And they keep improving this thing. I love this. And I love their quality, their attention to detail. It is phenomenal. This is something that I think everyone should consider having in their collection. If you like the design. Now, if you don't like the design, that's fair, right? Don't buy something you're not going to like. But I got to tell you, once you get this in the hand, if part of that liking a knife is how it feels in your hand, oh, this feels good. This feels really good. And that's the reason why it's my number one best mid-tech custom knife for 2025. All right, next category. All right, we're getting down to the end here. The best full custom knife. Now I decided to create a different category called best full custom. Typically I group it in with the mid-tech custom with the full custom, but this really ought to be its own category, especially this year since these were all added to the collection this year. One of them left the collection just because it was one of those catch and release ones. One of these other ones might be a catch and release ones too, and it might leave the collection by next year, I'm sure. But anyways, my number 5 best full custom knife is going to be, and I think this really is truly a full custom because this is by Jens Anzo. Even though it's a production, he calls it a shop production one. It's made by 3 guys, and Jens is one of those guys working on this. This is the RWL Toko. I got to handle this at Blade Show, and it's just phenomenal. This one had the carbon fiber inlay. It is a button lock, which is phenomenal, and this flipper is just superb. And the action is superb. It just gets better and better. It's just, I don't know, it's crown spine, and the jimping there is just like absolutely perfect. You can choke up, works really great. It's got a hollow grind on there. It is, and I now put my fingerprints on there, so now you can see them. So let's clean that off. But it is just a beautiful, beautiful knife. And I've wanted to have one of these, one, because I'm Danish and Jens is Danish too. So I felt like I should have one. You know, being a Danish person, I should support a fantastic quality Danish knife maker. And I like the design. I really do. I can't afford his other custom work because they are super expensive. And because how expensive they are, I probably would never carry them. So there's that. But this is a beautiful knife, number 5. And I did compare that with the Tarako. I did compare that with the Sonora. I did compare that with the Les George VECP. And I did compare that with the ProTech Mordax. All fantastic. I think those are the 5 best button lock knives out there, period. If you're going to get a button lock knife, those are the 5 I would recommend. I feel like for production, everyday use, carry, I think they're phenomenal. And this is no exception. This is a little more premium. It's a little fancier. It's uniquely designed. This particular one is number 449. The action is phenomenal. It does come with Skiff Caged Bearings, which, you know, Jens already decided that's what he's going to do on these guys. Just really phenomenal. Phenomenal knife. Love, love, love that. All right, my number 4. Best full custom. I got this one this year as well. It was one of those where the gentleman reached out to me. It's R&H Knives. This is the Tasca 2 Gen 2. I love this knife. I didn't know this had the full zirconium scales, which are gorgeous, and it has the Zircotai clip, the Zircotai backspacer. Love this. And it does come with Elmax blade steel with a hand satin finish, which is gorgeous. Love this knife, everything about it. It was super heavy with this zirconium. Matter of fact, I reached out to him and asking him if maybe he can make me some carbon fiber ones, because I love these scales and I think I want to have them available when I want to carry and use them, but I'd love to put carbon fiber because I think I carry it more, right? But I love this knife as it is like this. Just simply stunning. Really, 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 really phenomenal. Love everything about this knife and how it works. It's just super, super, super awesome knife. Full flat grind. Action is great. I did put skiffs in there. It didn't come with skiffs. I felt like that was absolutely necessary. Now, I did do a little mod on this guy, just to be fair. It didn't have a great cutaway, and it was a little radius chamfered, which I'm not a big fan of. So my big old meaty fingers had trouble getting in there, and then I couldn't clear. I had a double clutch situation. By doing that, I've now gotten past the double clutch, and it just is very phenomenal as far as that's concerned. And this was also one of the very first knives I put a single line of jimping on there, and I loved it. Matter of fact, I showed that to Martin at Blade Show Atlanta, and he thought that was kind of interesting. He thought he could see why I did that. He did give me a little nod that made sense, and he didn't hate it, so I thought that was kind of cool. Martin is from Machine Wise. He's got a very specific aesthetic and design language, and so for someone like that to acknowledge that, I felt honored, right? You know, he didn't have to say anything. He could have just like, oh, okay. But so I felt like, okay, at least he saw the logic and why I would have done that. And it has made this knife so much more enjoyable. I don't slip off of there. You know, the most frustrating thing is when you slip off a jimping, and I don't. That's not an issue right now. But just a really beautiful knife. Love this. It is considered a full custom when you order these from him. He's from the Czech Republic. Absolutely fantastic. From Denmark to Czech Republic. All right, number 3 is a prototype that Javi Garcia reached out to me. If you know, I've got my Sultan, the beautiful, beautiful slip joint. He makes beautiful, beautiful knives. This was one that I got. It was a prototype when I first got it. It was not polished. It did not have a hand satin finish there at all. I never touched the blade. The blade is probably the most beautiful thing about this knife. Love that blade. I've not seen a blade like this. I love the swedge. I love this profile of a blade with a hollow grind is simply gorgeous. I love that Garcia right there, Javi Garcia. Just really phenomenal. It was super sharp on the edges, which was a problem for me. It was got a little uncomfortable, and I was about to make it a catch and release. Then I snail trailed the snot out of the clip. And I was like, I just lost a ton of value in the knife. And I felt like at that point, I'm not going to get anywhere close to what I want to, even though it's a prototype, because the prototype's the only one that has the satin finished. Apparently they all have stonewashed, which I didn't know. So that's cool. I think this is number 2 prototype, so it's kind of special. Well, I liked it so much. It was kind of sharp in here, so I did a little cutaway because I learned that on here and some other knives. I did that on my Dixon. And I'm got to tell you, for you've got big old meaty fingers like me, that's a good thing to learn how to do, especially if the knife can handle it, and it could. And this made this knife so much more enjoyable for me. And then I did that satin finish. It just looks really nice all the way around. Just matches the knife, I think, up really, really well. And the funny thing is, there's enough traction on this jimping up here that I can front flip this thing. So I've got bonus flick on this thing, even though it's a flipper only. Like right here, I can front flip it. Let me do that again for you. Right? So you can front flip it. But this flipper is awesome. It's super awesome. Now, it was super, super sharp. It was cutting my fingers up, so I had to soften it a little bit. But this was like number 2. So, you know, I understand he's probably refined his art, I'm sure. Javi probably does more phenomenal work. But this is just such a knife. And I loved doing that hand satin finish on there. I just felt like it looked nice. It looked nice. And it complemented the blade a little bit more personally. And then it covered up all my snail trails because I carry the knife. Now, I could do 2 things, right? This could be a safe queen, and I would never have a touch, scratch, or anything on there, and I would never really fully enjoy the knife like I do now. Or I can go ahead and just do what I need to do to make it an enjoyable knife to carry, and I did. I chose to do that. I did reach out to Javi and said, hey, I hope you don't mind, but I really like this knife and I wanted to carry it, and I scratched, beat it up, banged it up, and I was like, it was just so disappointing, you know, that I felt like I needed to do something, and I did, and it became comfortable for my big old meaty fingers. So I think if I were ever to ask him to do a full custom, if he were to do that, those are things I would ask him if he could touch up, but at least for me. For big old meaty fingers like me, that's important, right? So my number 3 best full custom knife is this. Now my number 2 is going to be right here. There's a picture. You'll see it right here. It's the Edgar & Cole Airite. I bought this knife, love the knife. It is a phenomenal knife. It is amazing knife. It is ridiculously well made. Made out in Scottsdale, Arizona. Edgar & Cole, they make the phenomenal, some of the best full custom knives that they do. I actually had a real fancy full custom knife I sold as well. I found it on BladeBinge, and you know, people say you can't get a good deal on BladeBinge. Oh, I found a lot of good deals, unfortunately, on BladeBinge. Really good deals. That one was way undersold, and when I bought it, I knew the knife was probably worth way more than that, and so I ended up not carrying it because it was that expensive. You know, when you got a knife that's $4,000 or $5,000, you don't carry it. You just stop. So I ended up selling it, sold it for, just tried to recover what I paid for it, which I ended up doing. So I broke even. I wanted to do that. The same for the Airite. That was still a very expensive knife. That was the most expensive knife I have owned in my collection. The next one is probably, the number 1 will probably be up there if you look at the actual cost and if it came over here and people understood everything involved in it. But it's not. This Airite by Edgar & Cole is just beautiful. Craftsmanship to no end. Custom cage bearings. Everything's custom about this knife. It is stunning. Absolutely stunning. Number 2 for a reason. Just catch and release because I wasn't going to carry it. All right. My number 1 knife, and which may be a catch and release again. I'm still up in air because it didn't cost as much as the Airite, but I know the value is as much as the Airite because I got a ridiculous deal. This is the Trevor Berger Custom Urban XL. Now I have an Urban XL already. That's a kind of a mid-tech version. This is the full custom. And what you'll notice is that it's no hardware anywhere. You have custom pivots with mammoth molar inlaid custom pivots with the custom tool. This is LMAX blade steel on here, hand satin finished blade steel hollow grind. This is titanium liners, all hand done. And there's details that you can tell this was all hand done. This is not machined. There's no machining cutting out here. This is all done by him. This is the black paper micarta inlays that are just ridiculously gorgeous. You do have, I think it says Trevor Burger in here somewhere. It says TBC. See, that's the difference. You see that on the other one. I think my other one, this is the one that's a mid-tech, right? And that one's, yeah, it says TBC. You'll see that. And that is very machined, posted. Let me see. This does not look machined. This looks, maybe it is machined, but it looks, I don't know. All I can tell you, this is, if you look on here, there's details that tells me that this was hand done, because it's not anything an OCD person would kill you, but it's like you see like little things that aren't perfectly symmetrical, like the cutaway here, they are an exact mirror image. If you're really OCD, you can probably see what I'm talking about. And for some that might bother you, and for others, to me, it makes it have character and look beautiful, and know that his hands have worked on this knife. So this is what they call a maker's choice custom build, and he had some of these extra available, and I guess he had materials, and so he just made these all customs at the same time, and he put them up for sale, for lottery, and I got one, and I paid a really good price for this, for what you get. Now, I think if this were sold in the USA, this would be a whole lot more if someone were to look at it and understand what it is. Now, the problem is some people would not understand that. You know, you can get on Trevor Burger books. I am technically on his books. I'm 3 years out before I can ever build anything, because that's just how far he's out. And he put me on the books as a favor to do so. And I was very grateful for that. So at some point, I would love to have a full custom with my design choices to make. But this is it's very different. This is very, very, very different than a mid-tech version. Steel bar insert over travel stop. You see all the milling going on inside. You can see all the chamfering, very machine precision oriented. Everything on here has a very much a hand feel to it. And you can even see the chamfering that's going on here. If you don't like custom work, and you want perfect precision OCD kind, don't buy custom work. Don't buy them. You'll be very unhappy. It'll frustrate the heck out of you, because there's definitely a hand in there, right? And you'll see maybe imperfections that might bother you. So that's my number one pick right there. So Trevor Burger Custom Urban XL Full Custom. This is, now all the screws are hidden. They're accessed in there. I have special tools for all of this to be able to get to it if I wanted to take it apart, which I don't. Even a custom pivot tool there as well. All this stuff is hand done, and it comes in a much fancier box than this ever came in. Trust me, it's night and day. Very, very cool. You definitely know you're getting something special. The problem is I'm not carrying it because it's that special. It makes me nervous. I just got to make sure it's worth keeping if I can't recover what I paid for it. If I can at least get all what I paid for it and what it's going to cost me to ship it, I might sell it. That's where I'm at, right? Then I will just say it's worth that to me, and I'm going to carry it. So, you know, one way or the other. But there you go. There you go. These are my number 5 knives. You got the Jens Anzo Toko, number 5. You've got the R&H Knives Tasca 2 Gen 2. You've got the Javi Garcia Nova prototype, number 2. You've got the Edgar and Cole Erite knife. I think I had I forget what number I had. Anyways, that is the number 2. And then you have the number 1, which is the Trevor Burger Custom Urban XL Full Custom with the Mammoth Molar, custom Mammoth Molar inlaid, black paper micarta, hand done, wonderful knife. Those are my top 5 in the best full custom. All right, now we're getting down to the end. Let's do the next one. All right, here we go. This is the Best Knife of the Year award. Yes, I did a kazoo salute for this. So I have 2 more categories, Best Knife of the Year and my Favorite Knife of the Year. One is what I consider the best knife of the year in my collection. My 2 best knives of the year as far as quality, craftsmanship, design, all those things together, just really looking at them as beautiful knives for what they are and how they work and how they function, and the hands and everything that did it. And it's not necessarily going to follow what the other categories you saw. The other categories were kind of different. This comes into very subjective perspective from me. And you're welcome to disagree, and you're welcome to tell me why you disagree. But these are my very subjective perspective here. So my number 2 best knife of the year is going to be the Arno Bernard Tarocco button lock. Number 2. This made me really enjoy button locks all over again. I had kind of, I had the Mordax, and that was like the one button lock I really liked. I love the Integrity, the TR3. I think it's a great button lock. I think ProTech did a great job with that one. I think the Cambria was phenomenal too. Love that knife, but still my absolute favorite, the Malibu. I love the Malibu, it just didn't work for me. But my Bigfoot knife, the one that's been all-time favorite button lock, was my Mordax. This was the one in my collection. Then I got the Les George BECP. It was gifted to me by Mopatty EDC in honor of Billy Berry. It's just a really special knife in my collection. But it is a special knife just in and of itself that has extra special meaning because of how it came into my collection. So a special knife with extra special meaning. Really, really phenomenal knife. Love that knife. Then I got a hold of the Sonora from Machine Wise. Love that knife. Just next level production. Phenomenal. And then we got the Tarocco from Arno Bernard. Everyone said, you need to check it out. We want to hear your thoughts. And Arno Bernard allowed me to check it out. It is my number 2 best knife of the year award. It's next to the number 1. And I think Arno Bernard would to be fair, I think they'd be okay being next to this one. I would be if I was a designer, especially even at caliber of Arno Bernard. I think who they're next to, and they're pretty close to him, is pretty phenomenal. But I love this button lock. They restored my faith in button locks. Everything about it is just so good. Action, just really smooth, just not what you expect from a button lock, but all the more, and just enjoyable. Just a really good, solid button lock. Nothing to disappoint. There's a big difference, I think, between budget button locks and really high-end button locks. And this is very, very true of that. The Onzo Toko is the same. It's just phenomenal. But this, because of everything, all the elements together, the value, what you get, the different action. Now, mind you, the Toko by Jens Onzo is phenomenal. It is absolutely phenomenal as far as a custom knife. I love it. I think it's phenomenal, and it very much compares. But this wins out just as far as I think overall functionality and the way it works, and yeah, just really, really good. It gives me lots of options. It's very fidgety. It's very functional for me, but it just executes so beautifully in so many ways. It's Arno Bernard really got me into the whole really high-end mid-tech kind of knives, and this restored my faith in button lock. So thank you, Arno Bernard, for that. I appreciate you. My number 1 best knife of the year is going to be one that was in another category as a number 1. And so, no surprise, it is the Trevor Burger Urban XL Full Custom. This is the Trevor Burger Custom with the custom mammoth molar inlays in the pivot, the black paper micarta, hidden hardware, all hand done. There's no steel bar insert. This is titanium on a steel on the tang of the blade. So the geometry has to be right, has to be carbonized, all the stuff that you do with a hand custom knife. This is phenomenal. This is my best knife of the year right now. This is just really outstanding quality craftsmanship. Matter of fact, it happened to be 2 South African knives, obviously. Just really, really phenomenal as far as best knife of the year. What I would consider like the fanciest, best executed, just really great knives. I love both of these. I carry this one like crazy. I've not carried this one a whole lot, and I'm afraid it's going to be a catch and release. We'll see. I'm still up in the air about it, but it might be a catch and release. It hasn't been carried a lot. It's been for videos and has very minimal pocket time, and I didn't really have any pocket time. I went in the pocket to check it and fit, and that's it. And then we did a video, and ta-da! It's pretty much like the Air Reed. I hate to say it, but it is just so good, so good. Anyways, that's my number 1 best knife of the year. Trevor Burger Custom, Urban XL Full Custom, and then the number 2 is the Arno Bernard Tarraco. Really 2 phenomenal knives. Man, they're just knocking it out in South Africa. It's just next level. Just next level stuff down there. There's several other of the makers down there I would love to check out, just out of my wallet range. But these guys, I appreciate the fact that I can barely afford these, but I appreciate the fact that I can. I get to check them out and hands-on. I would not have been able to check this one out were it not for, he just had a maker's choice extras, and he happened to put it up for sale, and I just happened to get there at the right time, and I got one. So that's the only thing. It made it a little more expensive because of the customs. Just so you know, when you get something directly from Trevor Burger, there's a big custom chunk of change with that, and that costs money. Yeah, so just keep that in mind. All right, guys, those are my top 2 best knife of the year. My last one, this is very subjective. I'm going to put these 2 over here. My last 2 are going to be the best knife or favorite knife of the year. This is purely subjective. Now, it's subjective in one regard, but very not, because it's something, me having certain expectations for what I think a quality knife is. And if you know me, you know my perspective, my aesthetics, you'll appreciate what I'm picking out. And if you don't like my aesthetics and what I like, then you won't appreciate what I'm picking out, and that's fair. You don't have to. You can totally disagree and tell me why. Love to hear in the comments, by the way. But my absolute favorite knife of the year, number 2, it's going to be an honorable mention because there's one knife really that kind of wins it all, but I have really enjoyed my McNeese Dixon. Now, this is a custom version. I know. I really customized the snot out of this. As this one is right here, it is my absolute favorite. This is what I think the Dixon should be. If the Dixon were to evolve and mature into this knife would, I think, it would be a better knife. It's a great knife. It's a phenomenal knife right now, and it is ridiculously great. But the little touches that I've done here are things that, and here's the thing, the touches I've done here is everything you see in the Mac 2 as it evolved from the Mac. And when you saw the Mac 2, 3.0, and the 3.5, all the little things that have changed and evolved in that knife are things that I brought into this knife that were already in that knife. And that's why I feel like at some point, this is maybe what the knife may ultimately be. I hope so, right? Because I love this knife as it is like this. And if I were to get another one, I would do everything I did to this knife to that one if it were not like this. But this is why it becomes an honorable mention, because I love this knife as I've worked this to this point. And I think it's phenomenal. Love, 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 love this knife. So it's my honorable mention for my favorite knife of the year. But there's one knife to rule them all. The knife of all knives. It's not the Grail of Grails. Maybe you can consider Grail of Grails, but it's not really, because I have older knives that I think are higher Grails. But for 2025, my knife of the favorite knife of the year, hands down, it's something I figured it would be, and I'm not surprised, to be fair. I was thinking, are there other ones that can compete with it? And I have to say no. And I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on this. You may disagree with me, and that's fair, right? But here we go. The Machine Wise Mojave. This is my absolute knife of the year right here. I love this knife right here. Everything Martine and the Machine Wise designers, what they did over there, this knife just speaks to me on so many levels. What even made it better? Removing the lanyard. I mean, I didn't think you could make this better, but they did. They absolutely did. And man, the action on this thing is just everything I want. It's just so solid, so perfect. It locks in perfectly. And I've heard some people who've had issues. And all I can tell you is if you're going to post comment about my knife, reach out to Machine Wise. They'll fix it. They'll make it right. If you use a knife, I mean, this is a custom knife, okay? This is what it is. It's not an axe. It's not a fixed blade. If you're doing stupid things with a knife, this, then, you're going to expect damage to your knife, right? If I did that with this, I would be a fool, right? If I did that with a button lock, I would be a fool, right? Likewise, this is meant to be a light, very cool, very functional, very useful knife. It's not meant to chop logs and trees and cut, firewood and all sorts of other stuff. And it's not meant for you to grip like like you're, trying to crush a steel can or something. It's a frame lock. It's a very thin, sleek, very beautifully well-designed frame lock that's meant to be a slicer. It's that. It's absolutely that. It's phenomenal, and I love it. And I've had no issues with mine. I've actually, this is my second one I've owned, and both of them were fantastic. I love this one even better just because of the finish that I have on here. I think it's distressed. You know, I was telling you earlier, I think it's called distressed anodization. I think that's what they call it, and I love it. Absolutely love it. You can get all sorts of weird, crazy, awesome, beautiful designs on this thing. But this is my knife, my personal choice for my favorite knife of the year. This is my choice. This is my runner-up, honorable mention. These two knives would go in my pocket over and over and over and over and over. Now, I have a lot of awesome knives. I'm not gonna lie to you, and I'm very grateful for that. And they all go into my pocket as much as I possibly can. But these, if I don't put them in my pocket, I reach for them and I just flip them just because I enjoy them so much. I really do. They're just that good. But again, honorable mention with everything I did to this just in how Machine Wise did this knife, absolutely my knife of the year for 2025. My favorite knife of the year, right? This is my absolute favorite knife of the year. And this is right here is my absolute best knife of the year, which ironically, if you were to look at it, this is also the best full custom knife of the year. And then, of course, this is the best mid-tech knife of the year. And then, we can keep going back further, but there you go. I'll have a list of all those knives right here. So these two guys won the last 4 categories. Between these two, they were the winners of the last 2 categories. So it makes sense, right? Just really, really fantastic knives. What a joy to be able to check out knives like this. Really, really phenomenal knives like this. I am just beyond blessed. I love all these other knives that are just phenomenal here. They're just superb knives just to have in anybody's collection. I'm grateful to be able to check these out, and I appreciate you guys checking this out. I would say for some of you guys, you may say, oh, I'll never own one of these knives. That I understand. I understand that, and that may be, that may be true. Everyone has different circumstances, but I would just say, if one of these really catches your eye, it's worth saving up for, and it's worth looking on the secondary market. You might find one. I mean, if you really love this knife, then you're not going to care if it has some snail trails. You're not going to care if it has some scratches. You want the knife, because I mean, to be fair, if buying a brand new knife is not feasible, then expecting a brand new knife perfectly would be unreasonable too, right? So I know in some knives that I have bought, I knew that. Like my Utzler Duckling, I was never going to be able to afford the brand new cost of a Utzler Duckling. I got one that had snail trails on there, was able to get it, got it in my collection, did a little mod on it, looks great, love it now, fantastic knife. But that's kind of where I started from, slowly. Now I do have a channel has grown, it's monetized. So yeah, some of these things happen as a result of this channel. So I'm very grateful for that. I really am. And I'm grateful for you guys. Now, if you watch this video all the way to the end, you guys are amazing. Thank you. Appreciate you watching it. If you're not watching this, then I'm obviously talking to myself, and we're done. But anyways, I appreciate you guys. Love to hear your thoughts on this. Love to hear where you think you stand on these knives, if you agree or if you disagree on these. Hopefully this was entertaining. Hopefully it made you think about some of these things, and hopefully you don't hate me for what my decisions are, but there we go. It is what I felt was the honest to goodness best decisions, best choices I could make for 2025. All right. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you guys. If you found this content enjoyable, entertaining, maybe insightful, or just interesting, would you please consider hitting that like button down below? And if you've already hit that like button, maybe also consider hitting the subscribe button as well. Subscribing and liking the channel, it really does help me out. It allows me to do more things, check out more stuff, grow, just do a lot of things, and ultimately more things for you guys. So thank you. Thank you to everyone out there who watches the videos, enjoys the content, enjoys the live streams, part of the whole community. I appreciate you so very much. Thank you. Thank you. If you haven't already, maybe consider hitting that notification button down below as well, so you can be notified of future content like this and other videos. And a big shout out to all my channel members out there. I appreciate you guys. You guys are amazing. Wasn't for you, I would not be here. I'm part-time. I don't think I would have continued, but you guys are a big part of that. So I appreciate you for 2 things. Because of your membership, you encourage me, and I am very grateful for that. And because of your generous support through your memberships, I'm able to do things that I didn't think I could do in this channel. I'm able to check out knives. I'm able to do things. I'm able to continue to have weekly Budget Banger giveaways. I'm able to do the members giveaways. A lot of things, a big hand and a big part is due to you guys. So thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys are amazing. I appreciate every single one of you. If you haven't, if you didn't know, I want to do two things for you guys as a way for me to say thank you. One, if you're a brand new channel member, email me your name and address so I can mail you a channel sticker and a thank you note. I mean that. Any brand new channel member, I'd love to mail you a channel sticker and a thank you note. Secondly, if you, by being a member, you are eligible for the once a month members exclusive giveaway. So each week we do a Budget Banger giveaway, and then that 1 week in a month, we'll do a members giveaway, and there'll be 2 giveaways. You're eligible for both of those giveaways, right? You could win both of those giveaways. And I try to make the members giveaway something better than the Budget Banger giveaway, something you would enjoy winning as a prize or giving as a gift, right? So that's what I want to do for you. If any of that sounds interesting, there is a link down below in the description on how to become a member. I have 3 different tiers. Would love to have you. Don't ever feel pressure to become a member. Do it because you want to, but if you choose to do so and become a member, thank you. Sincerely, thank you. Appreciate that. As a small, if that sounds cool, and you guys may say, hey, I want to become a member, but I thought there's extra stuff. Yes, there's emojis here in the comments and the live stream. Yes, there's kazoo salutes. Yes, there's 1, 2, 3 year anniversary specials. Yes, there's all that exclusive content. Yes, all of that is there. It's all exclusively there for you. Yes. So yeah, would love to have you. But if not, I just appreciate you being part of the channel, watching and being out here. So thank you. If y'all haven't already, maybe also consider checking me out over on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Again, that's on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day and a great week. Bye.